Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. We appreciate all of you coming out and getting interested in what's going on with our HOA. I'm going to call this meeting to order. It is 7:01 p.m. Mr. Secretary, do we have a quorum?
We do. We have Jose, Corey, Jason, Mario, Herman, and Scott present. I know Marcelo, you joined us.
Yeah.
Marcelo via Teams this evening.
Thank you, sir. Proof of notice, manager. Do we have proof of notice?
Yes, sir.
More than 48 hours? Okay. Before we go into the comments and presentations from the homeowners, I know we're getting a lot of inquiries about the townhome construction defect lawsuit, and I know that we've been trying to provide you as much information as we have, and a lot of the town homeowners are kind of getting a little bit, how to say, impatient because we kind of don't have a lot of new information. So I reached out to the law firm that's handling the construction defect lawsuit, and we're being joined by Jeff Wilkins, who is one of the attorneys that's handling our case. And I just wanted you guys to hear it firsthand from him in terms of where we are and what to expect with regards to the construction defect law. Jeff, are you there?
Yes. Can you all hear me?
Awesome. Thank you. Go ahead, Jeff.
All right. Well, good evening, everyone. My name is Jeff Woodlitz, and I'm a partner with the law firm of Ball Janik. And we've been retained to investigate construction defects throughout your community, as you all know. So what we've been doing is gathering all of the data necessary from your association, the history of your buildings, how they were constructed, going to the public records, gathering all of those documents, and then putting a plan in place to actually do the ultimate testing to determine what is wrong with your buildings in August, early August. And so you will see us out there on site with engineering experts looking.
Some people talking in the back, and it's making it difficult for other people. Okay, you can go now.
Thanks, Jeff.
Okay, so yeah, no problem. So in early August, we're going to have engineering and general contractor crews out at the property, looking at different components of the buildings, trying to understand how they were constructed, where the defects exist, and what type of damage they are causing. That's going to be throughout all of the different townhome variations, and it will take about 2 or 3 days to complete the testing. And then following that testing, we're going to have a meeting, in-person meeting with us and the engineer that did the testing to present all of the findings to you all and tell you what if we do find something wrong with the buildings, what it is, or if there is nothing wrong, which is unfortunately unlikely, that will be shared with you all. There'll be the photos shared. You'll be able to ask us questions about the legal process at that time and what the strategy or next steps are going forward. And then you'll be able to ask the engineer about any technical questions about what he found. And so really we're at the beginning stages of this investigation. And we will, come August, have a lot more information as to what's actually going on and what's wrong with your buildings, and then be able to put a comprehensive plan in place that actually fixes the issues, not just addresses the symptoms. And so that's really what we have right now. I'd be happy to, I don't know if you want to open it up to questions. I'd be happy to answer any quick questions that anyone has, but really the time to ask a lot of the questions will be after the testing, at that meeting after the testing, when we have all of the information available to us.
Yeah. Jeff, I have a couple of questions regarding the logistics. So you're saying inspections will start early August. They'll take about 2 to 3 days. How soon do you think we'll know about, your logistical plan in terms of notifying the homeowners that you're going to have to gain entry into their homes to complete the inspection? How soon will we know that schedule?
Yeah, we're gonna coordinate with you and management in the next, I would say, next week or so. Yeah, so there'll be plenty of notice.
And I think with the rainy season being upon us, a lot of town homeowners that have active leaks are basically getting impatient because they're having water entry. I know CRC was out here to look at a lot of these properties, and unfortunately it wasn't raining during that time. And you know, they weren't able to see where the leaks were, but now it's raining and I believe the leaks are active. And we're trying to find out how do we get this, at least the contractor to come out and kind of get them dried in, you know?
Yeah, well, we've been working, you know, we've been on the correspondence with your management and the contractors, and it appears like they've been addressing, or at least trying to address or diagnose the issues to put temporary repairs in place.
There's 4 roof leaks. They were all dry at the time when they were inspected on April 21st. I have received no notice from the four people that they are getting any water. If they have said anything, they have not said it to management.
Is that right? Well, yeah, I've gotten emails that,
I have not.
and a couple of people.
Those 4 people that we inspected have not said anything. There's the one that we're expecting after when I&E, who is going to be doing the stucco, you know, we're getting about the 1 proposal, we're waiting for the other 2 proposals. He's going to be back after the 30th, and he's going to be going to actively go look at those, and there's only 2 that are waiting on for that. But we've got the 1 proposal, we've got 3 total. We've got 3. Sorry, Jeff, to take your time. There's
No, that's fine.
All right, we'll work that out. I just wanted to know how we can expedite these.
Yeah, we're on top of them. I've got new roof leaks though.
Did we happen to?
None.
Did we happen to get the names of the people that the contractor spoke with on site? So that we know who it is that they spoke with?
You mean the CRC with the roof?
Yeah, one of the roof specific.
Yeah, they didn't talk to anyone. Mario and Herman were there. And they didn't talk to anybody. There was no active roof leaks at that time.
Were they informed that we needed pictures of, if it rained and the leak started, that we needed photos of the active leak and where it was in the house, just so that we figure out, you know, is it a roof or is it a stucco issue or something else that's causing it?
All right, do any of you guys have any more questions for Jeff? Because
We don't have,
his
Jeff,
time is
I don't think we have
valuable.
any more questions. Do you?
Any more
Well,
questions?
to let you know, we've been working with management and these contractors. I don't know of a tremendous amount of issues, but there's constant investigation going on and evaluation, but it's really hard to do that from a surface level. And that's what we're going to accomplish in August, is we're going to peel back some of the layers and spray test a lot of these. So we're going to try and recreate these leaks and really trace them to what the root issue is. So this is a really complicated process. And it's unfortunate, but it is.
Okay. Well, thank you for the update, Jeff. I appreciate your time, and we look forward to seeing you in the next phase of this situation.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you all. Have a good evening.
You too.
All righty. So now we're going to open it up to any comments on the agenda from the homeowners. Anybody have any questions on the items of the agenda? Okay. Yes, sir.
Okay, 2918 Casablanca, that's what
I had a question about the.
Hold on, you go next, sir, go ahead.
And we asking you to come here is because we got people online, so they can hear you through that mic. I do have a question that I did a long time ago, maybe 2 or 3 years ago, just before they opened that hall over here, the big hall that they have over here in San Luis, right? In the beginning, when I came in here, the CDD, I used to pay certain amount of money, right? Then they raised it up by 800 and something for me. And back then I asked them why. They didn't give me an answer for that. You guys know where in the HOA yet, and what people were in there. So I asked them why we raise that money. Oh, we need money. That was the thing that I got from them. Okay. Then I asked them, for how long we gonna be paying this amount of money? Oh, we don't know. And so far, I've been paying that amount of money, but I think it's not fair, because when I bought the house, I did a contract with the people that I bought the house, and I said, they told me, you're gonna pay this much of CDD and this much in taxes. They brought it up 800 and something. I don't think it's fair. So I just wonder, can you guys explain me why they waste that much amount of money and when it's gonna start?
I wish I could, but that's a CDD issue. We have to address it at the CDD meeting. Unfortunately, I'm sorry.
Okay, that's just.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I have.
Can you come up here? Because the people online need to hear you. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I had a question about special assessment notice,
Yes.
about 387, I had to pay, so I want to know what about,
Yes, we're gonna talk about it during the meeting. We'll have a lot of information for you about that.
oh, so
Yeah.
right now, you had a explanation or
So-
what?
I'll give you the short, just for the sake of time. We've had several meetings related to that special assessment. It has to do with the cable and internet contract. But we're gonna talk with more detail later on. But that's the first special assessment that the board was able to authorize in order to try to deal with that problem.
I see.
But I'm gonna give more details in a little while.
But, so right now, the 387 is still in the air right now?
No, they're due by December 31st, sir. You can pay however you want. You can pay-
Yeah, but why we have to pay, that's why you had to explain.
Correct, I
Yes,
will,
explain.
and we will during the meeting, sir.
Explain.
I assure you, by the time you leave this meeting, you'll understand,
Right.
okay?
Today.
Today.
Yeah. Why you don't have to include it in the home association, why we have to pay?
You already pay it. He's gonna explain it.
I'm
Like,
gonna
he-
explain it to you. in a
He'll
minute.
explain.
Trust me, you'll understand.
Oh, you going to explain?
Yes, we are gonna
Yes.
talk about it in the meeting.
Yes.
Agenda in here?
Yes.
Yes.
I will see over here, that's why I'm sorry. What in here?
Yeah, it's not anybody, we're gonna talk about it.
We're still gonna talk
Did you-
about it.
I didn't see it in the.
Yeah, we created the agenda before the issue came up,
Yes.
but we're gonna talk about it. I'll
Oh,
make time.
okay,
for it.
yes, all right.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
I'm sorry.
Yes, sir.
I think I'm late. I don't know what's going on. This is my first meeting.
You're good, man.
Congratulations.
Welcome to the
Bring
club.
it in.
Thank you. I'm sure, I keep hearing it'll be addressed in the meeting, but, as far as increases or whatever, I'm sure there'll be something that justifies where those expenses go. My questions, and hopefully these get addressed in the meeting as well, are the issue with the security. I know that's probably a hot topic right now with us not having, nothing in place.
Correct,
Obviously,
yes.
we're paying for these as a part of what, whatever our dues, whatever our fees are assessed. And if there isn't a permanent fix or something on the horizon, is there other options, like with a security guard or something like that we're considering to put in place?
Right, since you're new, I'm gonna explain, this community has two separate bodies, there's the HOA and there's a CDD. The gate, all these clubhouse amenities, all that has to do with the CDD. Today, it's an HOA meeting, so we're talking more about grass and the things that pertain to the houses and the townhouses. But when is the meeting?
Scratch.
June 7th, June 7th. There's a meeting here, June 7th, with the CDD, you can bring those issues up.
That's the one, that's the one. Please go to it.
Are we gonna talk about ground and things like that?
5 p.m. I know. Those are the meetings right now. Anybody else?
I just have a question.
Sure.
Obviously, it says here virtual as well. Does the CDD also have a separate website? So, because I know I'm gonna be out of town, but that is an important one I would like to know. So will that be on a virtual meeting as well?
You can go to the CDD website, via soulcdd.org, and I'm sure they have something virtual on there that you can look up. Anything else? Okay, we're gonna move on. All right, do we have the minutes for the previous meeting? Everybody has had a chance to review them? Excuse me?
Okay, so they can hear you on the internet. Please. Thank you. Buenas tardes. Hombre, estoy viendo con mucha preocupación qué es lo que está pasando aquí de nuevo en la comunidad, sobre todo en la asociación. Cuando nosotros llegamos acá, a esta organización, nosotros tenemos portería 24 horas. Y por ser pueden ingresar acá, había que solicitar. Y pagábamos normalmente y siempre había muy buen servicio. Después, no sé si van traduciendo o es no.
Yo traduzco al final, dale.
Ok. Después entró la asociación con el señor Ramón y otros, y fueron dañando la cosa. Entonces, ya cada día la comunidad es peor, entre el que sea. En la zona de nosotros, como que esto está dividido, parece como que esto es norte y esta parte sur de esta avenida. La parte sur la atiende muy bien, no pagan casi. La parte norte nos tratan mal. Allá llegan parejas a hacer el amor en los carros, allá llegan marihuaneros, llegan de todo y no pasa nada. Entonces, de la portería, teníamos buen servicio con la portería. No, que es muy costoso pagarle a unas personas para tener ahí el servicio. Bueno, vamos a colocar a Vega. Ya ni en Vega. Aquí entra el que sea. No hay ninguna protección aquí para nosotros. Entonces, por ahora, eso, ¿qué está pasando? La comunidad no sabe. ¿Qué es lo que pasa? Porque ya ni siquiera en Vega, ya no hay ni siquiera los palos ahí utilizados por distraer la cosa.
Sí, lamentablemente no podemos hablar de esas cosas en esta reunión porque esta reunión es de la asociación.
No, es que ni siquiera la cosa.
Y ese tema
ese temita de que esto es HOA, esto es CDD, y entonces la cosa no, y sí, que no, y entonces nos tiran para allá y nos tiran para acá. Y nosotros estamos como cansaditos de eso. De que nos tiran para un lado y para el otro. Y usted es de HOA y también es de CDD. Entonces, ¿por qué no responde?
Sí, tienen que entender de que el HOA no tiene nada que ver con lo que usted está hablando y hay leyes que protegen que nosotros no hablemos de esas cosas en este momento. Pero junio 7 a las 5 de la tarde estaremos aquí y hablamos todo lo que usted quiera de eso.
Él dice, no, eso es HOA. Eso es HOA y tal cosa, y nunca nos dan solución acá. Y cada día nos incrementan el valor. Nos piden más cositas. Y no vemos ningún progreso. Entonces, ¿qué está pasando?
Gracias, don Osvaldo. Lamentablemente no le puedo contestar en este momento, pero hay un dicho que dice que las cosas a veces se tienen que empeorar para mejorar. Y estamos entrando en esa etapa ahorita y yo le aseguro que las cosas de la asociación van a estar mucho mejor en el futuro.
Ahora, por favor, usted me puede traducir la...
Ya voy a traducir. So he just wants me to translate to everybody that doesn't understand what he said. Excuse me. He basically is complaining about the gate and about the lack of security and about, people that are coming near his house and doing things that they shouldn't be doing. And, he has concerns and he feels that the expenditure is too much to live here and nothing's being done. But I explained to him that unfortunately that's a CDD issue. We can't talk about it at this meeting. But June 7th at 5 p.m. is the CDD meeting here, and everybody's welcome to come and we can talk about those issues. He also brought up the issue that some of us are on the CDD and on the HOA, but there's laws that protect CDD issues that we cannot talk about right now, and that's why we just can't say anything even if we wanted to, okay? And I hope everybody understands that. Thank you. Gracias, señor Eduardo. All right, let's move on. Approval of the minutes from April 27th. Anybody have any corrections, discussion on that?
I have two.
And then.
Yeah, two corrections.
So, legal counsel under number 4, line 1, this is Kristen emailed Scott, this was finding Kristen with the new CDD counsel. And then on number 5, officer reports to secretary. I just want to note that this was, the 2 contracts that were up for Blade Runner were on front steps, just to verify where they want. That's all I have.
Anybody else? All right, anybody want to move to approve these minutes as amended?
I'll move to approve the minutes as amended.
Anybody second? Second by Jose. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Nobody opposed?
Hey, Marcelo.
Aye.
Gotcha. Marcelo. All right, we'll move on. Managers report.
Nothing major, except for what Paul Janik already said about the tentative date being the 8th through the 9th. Tentatively, I don't want to say, at this time, the date's 8th through the 9th. But he said it could be 2 to 3 days, so that dates could change. So I wanted to mention that. Other than that, the collected assessments is 66,000, and that's combined. Past due collected is 47,000. And there's, beyond that, 128 open, well, they're not open. Some of them are not open. I'm going to verify it tomorrow. 128 violations for the month of April.
I'm sorry. Forgive me for my ignorance. I have no idea what everything that she just mentioned.
Yeah, so she's the manager of
I'm
the
the manager.
association. So she's just giving a report on things that are happening this past month.
There was some big numbers there. Were those like monies
Yes.
assessed on just violations?
No.
No, those are
It's a
past due people
combined.
that haven't paid.
Yes.
And how much was
Okay,
collected
I'm sorry,
from
you
that?
gotta forgive me, I just.
Yeah.
Fine.
No, it's okay. I got you.
Other than that, we already talked about the other items and the reserve study. I am waiting for the 3 total to provide to the board. No fining hearings for this month. And other than that, that's all for to be reported.
I do have a question. So you mentioned the reserve study, because it is gonna, it does have my street on here. What is the reserve study actually for? Or
Can I-
Go for it.
Okay, so the CDD owns most all of the property in this neighborhood. They own the main street that runs down the center, which is why the gate is kind of a silly point, because we actually can't stop anyone from coming in here because it's a public road. There are 2 roads inside of this neighborhood that they paid the bonds off. So those 2 streets are owned by the homeowners that live on that street. The special assessment is to find out what state the asphalt's in and what state,
You said special assessment,
Okay,
you meant reserve
special-
study.
reserve study. You guys have got me going. But the reserve study is to find out how much money potentially you might owe in the future to repair those things, so that we can come up with some sort of a plan as to how we're going to attack that. Because that is a section that only the people that live there own. So
Okay, and now is there a time frame for that study, or like?
we were still, you were still working on getting quotes for the reserve study. Right?
Yeah, and
It should be done this year though.
Yeah.
We're just getting
Correct.
proposals
Yeah,
now, as
proposals
soon as
for-
we can vote on them.
And those fees will just be assessed to these 2 streets alone, like all those homeowners just own?
Well, it depends, how much they anticipate is gonna be needed over how much time. There's calculations, and then they tell us based on the study, how much every owner on those streets should be paying extra for that service.
To hit a target goal within X
Yeah.
amount of years.
Yeah.
So you may see a number to re-asphalt that's 30,000, but it doesn't have to be collected.
So reserve studies are basically a wear and tear assessment,
Yeah.
and it kind of gives you the expected cost of repairing and replacing whatever is being assessed. So in this case, it's the streets for this side of the community.
So would that be billed through HOA, or, because I
Yeah,
know we
that would be
did
through HOA.
that whole year on that big huge hole that we had for a whole year? So is that an assessment with that reserve
No.
study, or is that completely
No,
separate since that was a?
that has to do with the water company. That's something else. Yeah, we're talking about the streets.
You guys do that, is that like a, how do I say it? Since, I guess you guys do it like every 10 years or something, or just?
That's what
I
the
can tell
reserve
you, it's
studies
never
for.
been done.
So you're gonna determine
Yeah.
how many times do you do it within so many years?
And if I can speak to it, just to help, maybe understand, help you guys understand. So you're supposed to seal coat every 5 years
Okay.
on roads typically. Now, I'm giving it industry standard, and replacement of the roads, 15, 20, re-asphalt, you know, it depends, because this is Florida, sometimes they aren't compacted right, things of that nature, so it can be different. That's what the reserve study is for, to check the road and everything.
Yeah,
So
once it's
typically
complete,
15,
we'll bring more information,
20, 30.
and we'll be more
Yeah.
specific as to what the numbers are. and what
Yeah,
to expect.
but I'm just telling you, in industry standards is what I'm
Okay,
saying.
I just wanted to know, since
Yeah.
I don't know I know my street is a newer one, it wasn't here when I was a kid and
Correct.
stuff like that. So, I guess like I was asking, HOA, CDD, would that it will solely just be on us? Is there nothing on like HOA that will do to like kind of help us out, or is that put in your budget or anything, or is it just solely?
And that's what it comes. So right now, we're in the beginning stages of
Right.
saying, we need to look down the road, and we need to have money. We know that road's gonna need to replace this on our budget. This is the HOA, but we don't know how much it's gonna cost.
Until.
This reserve study will look at the condition of the road, right? Kim was telling you average, which is probably a road that's like citizens commute every day. Obviously, this doesn't need the same traffic.
Right, that's what they
So
look at though.
It looks at all of that and says, how long can you expect existing to continue to be viable? What can you do along the way to extend the life? And when the life expectancy gets to the end, how much money do you need to replace the road? So this is a big like engineering study that essentially is preparing us to get to the point of 10, 15, maybe 20 years down the road, so that when it comes time to replace those roads, we already have the funds and we've been putting things away, opposed to going, oh yeah, by the way, it's gonna cost us $30,000 to do this, and now, oh yeah, well, we have that Sangria in the Minorca court, so we're gonna have to take that money from you guys, right? So we're looking at going in the future, and how can we prepare for end of life of those roads today? And that's what this study will do. So once we get the study back, it'll tell us how the conditions are, how long they expect it to last, and we can do, like you mentioned, seal coat, and they add years to it. They may say, we expect this to happen. Now, 3 or 4 years down the road, we may do another one. And they may say, oh, life expectancy is looking a little shorter, it's got more wear and tear. So we continue to do these things, and adjust our plan so that when the time comes, we'll be ready. So that's really the forward-looking thought of it, is where are we gonna be in 10, 15 years? Are we gonna be prepared, opposed to being, oops, we forgot.
All right, can we move on now?
Yeah, just to understand, the study, we're responsible for paying for the study, and then we're gonna be responsible for,
If you live on that street, yes.
and then setting these funds aside for X, Y, and Z.
Right.
Right, and that's because your houses on Minorca and Sangria are uniquely got that,
They're part of their.
It has to do with your developer. Your developer opted to exclude those streets from the CDD, and that's why they're private, and that's why the homeowners have to take care of it, in essence.
Why did you do that?
Okay, and.
Because he's the developer, he can do whatever he wants.
so we can talk more, I'd love to talk about it.
Talk more about it. We have a lot of work to go through. We don't want to keep everybody here all night today, sorry. We have legal counsel online?
Yep.
Chris, you there?
Yep, I'm here.
All right, got anything to update us on?
Nothing new to report on my end. I mean, you guys were at the last meeting we had with Artemis, so you kind of know where all that stands.
Gotcha. Yeah, so, yeah, we're also, started the process of kind of designing a rough draft of new rules for our community, which is gonna take time, but if anybody has some extra time and wants to volunteer to help us come up with that, and then eventually, once we have the rough draft, it's gonna go out to all the community to give input, and hopefully we can get some rules of our own and not have to live by these rules that the developer left us at some point in the future. So, that's something that's meaningful that we're working on right now. Thank you, Chris. I think that's all we have, right?
Yep.
All right. Marcelo, are you there, treasurer?
Hey
I told
guys,
him
yes, I'm here. So I think that given that I'm remotely and all that, I think Kim is gonna cover for me today.
Okay, I'm sorry, I wasn't aware of
It's
that.
okay. Talking points, I was going to mention that, our operating total for the month is 348,179. Our reserves is 454,635, and this is combined for townhomes and single-family homes.
Well,
Okay.
we don't have reserves for single-family homes, do we? We don't have reserves for them, it's all
Well, that's what
town.
I'm saying, that's what,
Yeah,
it's
it's all
total
town.
reserves, net reserves, okay, so that's the net reserve, so, and then that's basically it on that part. What else did you want me to say, Marcelo?
Well, I don't know if there's any information that we can share regarding assessments and collections and
That covers that one. Well, I covered past due, already with my manager report, so that's, and I think he's gonna talk a special assessment.
Yeah.
Yeah, so,
Yeah,
yeah.
all right, secretary?
Right, the three things that I usually cover every month. We look at property movements for the past month. We have had no sales in our community, but we do see some new faces and a great turnout. So thank you for being here. For those of you who are for the first time, last Thursday of every month, 7 o'clock is where our meetings are. They're both here and virtually. So take advantage of that. And then there's also recordings. If you do happen to be busy at night, you know how that gets. They will be posted shortly after the meeting, if not the next day, and where you can view the meeting and see what's going on. Right? The other thing we usually talk about, any records handed over to management. Last meeting, post meeting, we signed our meeting minutes and handed them over to Kim so they can be recorded with all of our documents. So that was last meeting. And I do an audit of front steps records and just make sure that everything is being posted out there for you guys to see in terms of board minutes, financials, those things that you're probably have questions on, want to see what's going on. As of right now, we're looking all up to date on that, so that you can go for us. That's it for me.
Awesome, thank you. Committee reports, compliance committee?
There's no cases that have been elevated to the compliance hearing level, but we have 128 violations from the last inspection.
Do we know, like, how many of those violations are on second letter, first letter, no? Maybe we could do that for the future.
I think there's only one, because of the roofs is what it is. I think there's only one other that's, just like back to that. But there's only one, I believe, that's on second.
Okay.
Okay. But they're closed. If there's anybody on, I have inspection, part one of my inspections tomorrow. So if any of those aren't done, they'll be moving to the second.
Okay. ARC, anything from the ARC?
Unless Tim, Camila, or Mark have anything to add, no, everything's chugging along just the way that it should, so.
I wanted to bring something up about the ARC. I have a couple homeowners who have complained to me that the ARCs are taking long because they're being kicked back for certain documentation that, in my opinion, I don't think it's necessary, but you guys can enlighten me.
Actually, it's not even that it's necessary or not necessary. We requested that they remove that, and we had a board vote on that. So it needs to be removed immediately.
Yeah, and we're talking about contractors, information,
And
insurance, what else was it?
Surveys.
Was it just recently?
Well, the survey, I think
No,
we need, if
this
it's
was done.
structural, we should get a survey.
Okay, but that's on the burden of the homeowner, is to get a survey. If they do something that's
Yeah, but we
wrong,
need to make sure that they don't encroach on somebody else's property.
That's not our place. It's their place to get a survey to figure out,
Is that
their
right?
contractor should be pulling that,
Right.
as well as permits. There should be no, but no, this was dealt with Andre.
'Cause right now,
I'll dig through and find the email and forward it to you.
That's fine.
right now, 2800 via Largo
Is
has
this
had,
a recent?
an ARC sitting there for a couple months now, and it keeps getting kicked back because they want more information. And he says,
surveys and contracts.
yeah, and they want
I wish you would
insurance.
email me directly. I mean, that's,
Do you have the ARC numbers? Can you send that to me at some point so I can go and take a look at it and find out like what they're asking for?
To send you what?
They just, there's
Oh,
ARC
the case
Yeah,
number. Gotcha, okay.
Gotcha, yeah.
Okay. All right, anything from landscaping?
For landscaping, we have a volunteer, and I wanna do a motion to, add Tim Gannon for the landscaping committee.
Okay, anybody second that motion?
Second the motion.
All right, second motion, anybody, all in favor for? Aye. Any opposed?
I abstain relationship.
Okay, Corey abstains. Marcelo, did you vote?
Aye.
Okay, all ayes, okay, no.
And then also on the landscaping, I have, just a reminder that anything behind your houses, like trees, bushes, stuff like that, that's extra. The HOA covers everything on the front of your houses. Anything behind it, you
Just
can
grass.
request for a quote, and they can give you a quote to do whatever you want behind your houses.
They cut all your grass, but the bushes and trees in the back of the house are the homeowner's responsibility.
Then,
I have what you,
Hold on, one at a time, hold on.
and then.
Mr. Carlos, then you can, I'm sorry.
in my house, I have bushes in the back.
Yes,
When I go to the house, they come together.
you said it was already there?
Yes.
You saying the developer put them there? Right. Maybe you can talk to Kim later and give her your address and we can investigate that, I don't know, but, nobody else has bushes here installed by.
Because of my house, the other problem is short length,
Mhm.
short shot, Because they put the wood, 11, the level go high, so they.
Yeah, let management know either tonight or send her an email about it and we'll look into it. Tamika?
Oh, it's the same thing. I have bushes that the builder planted and Blade, I think it was Blade runs way back, used to cut it.
Oh,
And then
okay.
they stopped cutting it, and then I complained and they cut it and then.
Same thing.
They cut it sometimes and I just been, my neighbor, the neighbor whose house is behind, we don't know who it belongs to. So he sometimes will just put the crossbar out where to cut.
Yeah, maybe put a ticket through landscaping committee so the landscaping can become aware because the landscaping committee has meetings with the landscaper every other week. So it's something that we can discuss and actually go take a look at. Okay?
And then, yeah, but this opinion, and then also they mentioned that if you got any decoration lights on the front, and you know when they're coming, because usually Mondays are this area, Tuesday, Wednesday are the alarm, Casabella, and then Thursday is Liasta View down to, Camino Real. Make sure, if you don't want any accidents or anything with the lights, make sure to take them off, or anything just to prevent any, damage to that type of little, lights.
Ms. Kate?
Yes, 2 weeks ago, I had sent in a question about all the townhomes on Via Palma in the rear, they have not been cutting the lawns. I know you're gonna follow up.
and I got the answer today, and that's a conservation area. It's done once a
It's not a
year.
conservation area. Now, that's, they can cut it some type of.
Juan responded today and said it's a conservation area. The account manager for
landscaper.
Blade Runners.
Well, that's funny because my survey doesn't show it's a conservation area.
And they cut it once a year, and unless,
I've lived there since 2015.
and if the board or the association wants it to be cut in further and maintain
Before
more,
any of these people were here.
he said it was just cut in October.
I've been here longer than that, man. I've been here longer than that.
Well, that's fine, but what you don't own a town knows either.
You're right, I don't.
He physically went and looked today.
Now, who is one?
He's
Blade
the
Runner.
account manager
Or landscaper.
Town manager for.
for Blade Runners. He oversees the crew that's here all the
Where's
time.
their office?
It's in
Who's
Orlando.
been cutting my grass then? Right? Who's been cutting our grass?
It's Blade Runners. Blade Runners been
No,
coming.
it's more Blade Runners.
It was Bright.
I don't know.
Before it
That
was
was
Bright.
Brightview Landscaping.
Brightview,
Yeah, I was there as a landscaping committee when Blade Runner was here back in 2015.
But it's not a conservation area.
They have it as that, because it's a creek that goes.
Can we get some documentation on that?
I'm
Give us-
not talking about the group. I'm talking about
The grass,
my lot line from the front of the property to the back.
yeah, so they cut that, yes, they cut that.
Yeah. No,
She's saying they're not cutting it.
They don't, they have not been cutting the grass behind the town halls on Vietnam.
Okay, so we can check that out.
That's like the third request.
don't want me to.
So that's why you're saying the grass on the,
Yeah.
okay.
Maybe I should just look for one.
It's not grass, I got. the
Is there
picture.
anybody else from Via Palma here? Are you getting your grass cut in the back? No? Nobody else here? Okay.
He's here, he's not getting it cut.
All right, we'll look into it. This is the first time I'm hearing about it.
It's not, it's right here on my phone. I got a picture.
What's that?
That's the picture of that.
Oh, I know what it looks like, but she's saying that her saver is saying that it's not.
Like the grass.
That's
they
okay,
don't
I
cut
get
the
it, I
grass.
get it.
When
I
was
get
this
it.
picture taken?
It was taken today.
Grass looks
So the
low.
grass is cut.
Yeah, the grass
So
looks
we-
low. All right, we'll figure it out on day of an inspection with the landscaper. All right, moving on to the social committee. Again, I can't say it enough. We need volunteers for the social committee. If you guys want to have social events, it takes manpower, it takes money. So we need to raise money. We need to get things going. Right now, what we have, we're working on is, we were working on our first annual Via Sol Day. We want to make it a day that we can celebrate that our independence from the previous board. And moving forward, we're going to have a more united community. So we're planning a barbecue for July 22nd. Save the date. It's not been confirmed yet. We still need to get permission from the CDD and get all the different logistics done. But if we can get anybody to volunteer and help us out, that would be appreciated. Okay, that's all I have for the social committee. Safety?
No, the safety the same. I've been going around doing just the safety run as, I've been doing as a volunteer, and pretty much everything is looking normal. I know the CDD, I saw some patrols going around, like also the sheriff, so everything is looking good. So just if you see something, say something, call, the cops, don't be afraid. You can do it anonymous, or you can say your name and they can come to your house and give you more details on the incident.
And all those contacts are also on our webpage. You have the non-emergency sheriff's number if you don't want to call 911 because it's not an emergency, but someone's hanging out in front of your house, doing things that maybe you don't want them to do, and you can call the non-emergency number. Usually they have a deputy in the area that will come out and take a look and help you out. Okay, so we'll move on. Construction defect, I think we talked about this early on. Anything else you guys want to bring up about this?
So about the 3138.
So I know 3138, I think, Riachuelo, right, is one of the properties that reported water intrusion during the last rainy day that we had. And I think he needs to be prioritized. And I also think,
I haven't gotten any record of that. No one said anything to me about getting any rain.
So, yeah. So
They've-
the person have to-
they went through administration though, right? They went through the website.
No, they should email me the pictures, not go through,
Okay, well, that's good that we
Just-
bring that up. That's important.
Because-
That's one of the things I wanted to talk about is for everybody in the townhomes, right? We're in this situation with the construction defect, and I know many of you have issues and have had issues for years. Some of you, it's not new. But it is very important, if you want things addressed, that you follow the process. A lot of you have reached out to me or to Herman or to somebody else, or to, and that just doesn't get anywhere because we try to do the work, but, we're only one person. We have jobs, we have family. We can't handle all that stuff. That's why we've hired management to take care of that, the law firm to take care of that. So the process right now is whatever you have, take pictures while it's leaking, take video, send it to management with your address, and this way it can be addressed, all right? We have contractors that we're working with that will come out and look at it and try to keep you dry until we can get through the lawsuit. I mean, it's gonna take a minute, and we understand, we want you to be dry. We don't want you to be living in a wet house, so, but follow the process. If you follow the process, you get results. If you don't follow the process, then you're gonna say, I keep sending emails and nobody's doing anything. No, she has a phone number too, call her, call Artemis and let them know too if they're not answering your emails.
And like what he's saying, so when you do the processing, you go to the website, villasoachoa.com or villasopresident.com, work order area. The work order, it goes to her, and then he give you an option to upload pictures in there as well of the incident.
Yes, ma'am.
Can the HOA come out and recharge our properties at a minimum based on all our payments over the years?
Her tarp was put on by her insurance company.
Yeah,
It cannot be touched.
yeah, I'm not sure what she's asking though.
She-
Oh, you want us to come and take your tarp off and put a new tarp? Is that what you're asking?
To tarp, yeah. It's been-
You have a tarp though. You have a tarp.
But it's the last couple of storms we've had, has been blown off.
Well, this is a perfect example for everybody to learn from, right? Ms. Kate, with all due respect, I want to help you out as much as I can. Contractor came to your house. I promised you last meeting that I want to address your issue. We go there. You never told us that you had a lawsuit, claim with your insurance company and that they already have their hands in the pot there. And when our contractor went there, he says, this is all part, this is all taken care of. I can't get
That
involved.
was probably close to 2 months ago.
No, it was on April 21st.
Okay.
The bottom line is, once you guys get insurance involved and start doing your own thing, then we cannot help you until that issue is resolved. Okay? That's unfortunate, but that's the truth.
But you can charge us monthly payments
Has nothing to do
for our
with it.
townhome.
I don't charge you anything. That's what the document says you have to pay.
The single family homes pay $175, and they're responsible for their roofs. If they get damaged in any way from a hurricane, lightning strike. But this association, in their bylaws, has collected since day one, when each of these properties were issued a final CO, $258 a month. So then you guys come on board with great things this past year, and you jack it up to $327.
Not willfully,
Nothing,
not willfully.
nothing changes, no accommodations, and I'm simply asking for a tarp.
But like they mentioned,
It's not that simple like you make it sound.
And in the bylaws, it says that you guys are responsible for the tile roofs on all those homes.
But that's until an insurance company gets involved. We actually can't do anything, because if we mess your insurance claim up, then you can sue us.
Yeah,
We're at catch-22, our hands are tied.
you guys waited, you came out last.
Anyway, we're gonna move on. That's a personal issue. This is the HOA meeting. We can address it later. We'll move on. But anyway, there is a process for townhome owners to get help, and you have to follow the process in order to get help, okay? Yes, sir.
Nosotros tenemos una cuota de $256. Se incrementó a 327. ¿Por qué razón?
Por una reserva que hizo la junta directiva anterior, requiriendo que ustedes ahorren el dinero. He's asking why their assessment of the townhomes went up this year. I explained that there was a reserve study done by the previous board that obligated us to raise in order to get that money into the reserves that the reserve study demanded.
Cuando tengamos esa reserva, ¿qué va a pasar?
Es que no es cuando tengamos, eso es algo que se sigue replicando porque se va a ir gastando, haciendo reparaciones, haciendo reemplazos.
Y entonces con los $256 que pagamos antes, no se conseguía lo mismo.
Y no les estaban reparando los techos, ¿no?
No, pero ¿por qué razón? porque el dinero se desaparecía.
Sí, pero ahora usted puede ver.
Entonces, nos van a implementar, dijimos muy bien en la reunión, de que aprobamos conseguir esta reserva, pero cuando esta reserva la tuviéramos en el bolsillo y en los papeles dirías, en el reporte, vean, tenemos una reserva de $200,000. Ya, tenemos la reserva y bajaba la cuota. Porque con la cuota estaba incluido las reparaciones por el HOA en los condominios. ¿Sí? Entonces, yo quisiera saber dónde está el reporte que yo quiero tener de la plata que está ingresando y hasta cuándo vamos a pagar los 300 y pico dólares. Porque se supone que volvemos a lo anterior, porque con eso tenemos que pagar. Y si con $256 que pagamos los del Todos House no somos capaces de sobrevivir, entonces estamos mal en la administración. Para mí está mal. Porque para mí nosotros los de los House, ¿qué tenemos? Deuda nomás. A nosotros, que le pintamos la casa. ¿Cuándo? Una vez la pintamos. En 9 años que tengo aquí, una sola vez han pintado la casa.
Entiendo.
Le lavamos los techos. A nosotros no nos han lavado los techos. ¿Por qué razón?
Don Osvaldo, tenemos que seguir con el negocio de hoy. No vamos a terminar con este tema.
No, pero es que
eso ya le expliqué dónde va el
eso
dinero.
es
Sí, pero ya le expliqué lo que puedo explicarle en esta reunión.
Bueno, entonces, ¿cuándo?
Si usted quiere ver los números, haga un request con la compañía de manejamiento que le envíe los reportes. Están en el website también, los puede ir a ver. Aquí hay mucha transparencia. Usted puede ir a ver todo. ¿De dónde va ese dinero? Nosotros no estamos tocando ni un centavo.
Pero queremos, porque yo ya estoy hablando con la comunidad.
Hágalo. Se lo recomiendo.
Estamos muy preocupados.
Y el dinero.
Estamos muy preocupados con eso, porque dinero, y para acá nada.
Just to translate, he's basically complaining that we raised the assessment for the townhomes. I explained to him that there was a reserve study done by the previous board. It has nothing to do with us. We're obligated to raise it. He's asking for how long it's going to be. If at some point we'll be able to bring them down to the previous amount, and I just don't know. You know, we would have to do another reserve study at some point and see if we could do that. I don't know. That answer is hard to make, but you know, I just don't have that answer today.
Por favor, y el que nos reporte, si nos explican cuándo terminamos de conseguir la reserva, para ver si podemos conseguir el descuento.
And he wants to review the finances, and I just said, just like everybody else, you can do a record search, you can go to our website, the financials are all there. No one's taking any money.
You log into the front step app, and right there, all the financials are there.
I need to move on. Is this personal or is it about HOA?
Personal?
Is it personal? Is it about you or is it about everybody else?
No, I don't say anything personal about myself.
No, I'm saying personal as an issue to you. Excuse me?
But my question is on all those property owners here in Village Soul that hadn't paid their HOA dues for God knows how many years. I was shocked when I saw that list. Are they paying late fees on each month? Because they should be. Are they going to pay?
I don't know if they pay every month, but there is a process for collections and every one of those accounts is going through the process.
I mean, those people, why were they not paying?
I don't know. I really don't know.
When I moved into my house on this side over here, we were led to believe that our HOA was ready to put it in our escrow.
Oh, yeah.
So I went 3 years without paying the damn HOA. I got a letter that said I ended up paying damn near double.
Yeah. And at some point, you guys also switched.
Yeah.
I remember moving in and getting
So
two
I had
sets
to
of like books, receipts, and I was confused as to which one I was supposed to pay.
I totally agree. I've been quoting that man myself.
I'd be mad.
Keep it down, guys.
¿Cuándo podemos contar nosotros con la limpieza de los techos de los homes?
Eso se lo prometo que a lo más los abogados de la demanda de defectos de construcción digan que se pueden lavar, se lavan. Ya eso lo hablamos 12 reuniones atrás y le dijimos que nosotros queríamos limpiar los techos. Y ella dice que no es recomendable que lo hagamos ahora porque puede perjudicar la demanda. A lo más ellos terminen sus inspecciones en agosto y digan que se puede hacer, se hace. El dinero está ahí, está aprobado y lo que pasa es que no se puede hacer. He's asking about the cleaning of the townhome roofs. I just explained to him that we already approved that. We have the money for that, but the construction defect lawyer didn't think it's a good idea for us to wash them until they finish inspecting the roofs. And that's what we're waiting on.
So when is the timeline? What is the?
You just heard the attorney say August is what the timeline they have now. They're preparing for that.
And we can move forward and get the roofs repaired?
Well, like I said, if the roofs are leaking, they can be repaired now. All right, and I just explained that your situation is different. Your insurance is involved.
Well, they are, but this isn't finalized with them.
Okay, well, still.
It's bad on that side as it is on this side.
You contact our legal counsel, let him advise you on what applies to you. Yes, sir.
You say that these people that don't pay the HOA, for how long they could win that?
I mean, there's a few people that I am aware of that haven't paid in a while, but
Are we gonna put a lien in the property?
yes.
So let's do that,
Yes.
sell the house, and then you get that thing for the.
You're right. All that is the process, sir.
That's not how that works, though.
It's little back because it's a process of
Think
legal.
about how long we gonna have to wait for them to pay? If they just have to pay for a year, how long before that happens, so that we can put a lien on the property?
You want to answer him?
There aren't that many houses that way.
I just hear is how much of people do that.
That's
How
not
many?
true.
There's, I don't have the full financial in front of me. If somebody does, I can.
Like I said, you guys can go look at this yourselves. I'm telling you, there's less than 30 people on that list.
Less
Okay,
than.
less than
yeah.
30 people, and out of those 30 people, there's like 10 that owe the most.
There's less.
And they're all going through the process.
That's not 39, right? That's 10 people, 29 of them.
Roughly, don't hold me to it. I don't know, it's less than 30.
And that's less than 2%, which is amazing in
Yeah.
this size.
Even if it's one house that doesn't pay,
Correct.
you put a lien in there, you get the property, you sell it out, and then you get some money for the HOA.
Correct.
It's a cell
I agree, I agree with pursuing it.
No, because the legal confirms.
It's going on the background, the lawyer is handling that.
Okay, this.
All right, this is
can I
the
speak?
ball.
Can I
This is
speak?
why I don't like.
We need to do comments at the end from this point forward.
All right,
It is-
no more comments from anybody till at the end of the meeting. We gotta get through this. Sorry, we're done.
I have a question.
No,
No,
man,
yeah,
we're
so
done,
question
we're not.
is-
At the end of the meeting,
It's not a comment, it's about the reserve.
There's,
No, that's it, we're
questions.
done,
This
we're
is a
done.
board meeting. I'm gonna say this, because I can't, I don't mean to speak for Mario, but this is a board meeting. It's the fact that they let you guys talk at all, they usually open forums at the end, and it's 3 minutes per board. It says it on the agenda.
As long as we can keep it
Yeah,
civil, I
so
don't
it's
mind,
out of
but
control.
it's getting a little bit out of hand.
It's out of
Sir.
hand, and it's a board meeting, so, period.
enough,
You
that's
need
enough.
to, Robert's
Move
Rules
on.
of Order, period.
Let's go, guys.
Yeah. I'm sorry, it's,
So,
no,
sir,
you're out of order.
sir, we're
You're out of
done,
order.
we're done. Ya terminamos. Terminamos.
A la última,
A lo último se le va a dar la oportunidad. A lo
It's a
último.
board meeting, it's not a homeowners meeting, period.
Anyway,
Okay.
so Infomark missing records, any update on that?
What was?
Infomark missing records
Yes, I did send the information,
to Chris.
yeah, to
To the
Chris.
lawyer.
If I need to get back with him, I will follow up with him on that. Okay?
All right, electronic voting.
We just need to pick a date. I think it's gonna be probably July at this point. I need to go back and find the exact timing and everything and follow up with the date. You want to try to do it around the board meeting date?
Do we have to set the date here? Can we just
We
say
can talk-
basically,
We can
as long as
discuss it.
we meet the legal requirements of
Correct.
notice, I
Correct.
think we should do it as soon as possible.
Okay.
Okay?
Do you want to try to do it around a meeting date though? To make it easier?
Yeah.
Okay.
that's the end of.
The problem is that it's gonna take too long. You know that during the meeting. I think we should just have a vote date for that.
Okay.
Doesn't matter if it's around the meeting or not.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yep.
All right. So special assessment, okay? This is why everybody's here. We're gonna talk about it now. All right. Give me an opportunity before everybody jumps up to explain to you what we have here, okay? I know that there's a lot of misinformation on social media, that we're trying to take money out of your pockets, that we're trying to do this, we're trying to do that. We're not trying to do anything, okay? This special assessment is passed because we have an option to do something. And you guys are gonna have the opportunity to vote on it at some point, which is what we're talking about. And if you don't vote for it, we don't have to pay it. That's fine. And all that money that we have approved that gets collected will be returned to the owners that paid it, okay? But the bottom line, this is the situation. We've been in contract with VSO Broadband for a very long time. And we have another 6 years left on this contract, okay? Not by choice, the previous board decided that they were going to sue this company because they feel the contract is unfair. Okay, they went and opened up a case without any of us owners knowing about it, and they opened up a lawsuit against the cable company, right? Which the cable company is not Spectrum, it's an intermediary, a third party that's in between Spectrum. So basically, we pay these people and they pay Spectrum and they take their cut. That's how it works. It's been like that for years, right? Right now, we're paying over $500,000 for cable and internet, okay, every year. It's very expensive, and every year it goes up 4 to 5%, okay? So when we took office in July, we wanted to obviously assess our legal risks with everything that was legal at the time. There was a lot of legality going on with the previous board. So we talked to the attorney, we talked to even the attorney that the previous board had that was working on the case, and we decided to see what our options were, okay? The previous attorney said that he didn't think we could win this case. He said it's a case based on very weak argument that it's unfair, that we're paying more than we should. And he says it's going to be a long road. The people involved with that cable company, their attorneys have been in Florida for a very long time. They know a lot of people, they're very influential. So to me, I felt like it wasn't in the best interest for us to engage them in more litigation when we had already spent $80,000 of our money trying to fight them, and it has gone nowhere. They had not even had their first hearing in court yet. Everything was just motion still, right? And they spent 80 grand. So I decided that, no, we want out of this litigation. We don't want to pursue this. It's going to spend all our money on just fighting this company. And at the end of the day, the 5 years are going to pass, and we're still going to pay them, right? That was what I thought. So when we decided to say, all right, we want out, let's dismiss this case. What they said, they served us a letter and said, okay, you owe us $50,000 for our legal fees, right? So they said, you want to get out of this? That's fine, but you're going to pay us $50,000 for our legal fees because you should have never brought that lawsuit against us. So I was like, wow. Not only that, that law firm was scouting a lot of homeowners in this community to sue the HOA because that lawsuit was illegally created against our rules. Because in order for us, the board, to sue anybody for more than $100,000, we need 75% of the community to agree to do that lawsuit. And they never got that. So that attorney wrote our documents, so he knew that that was in our documents. And he said, you guys violated, the board, being not us personally, but the board violated your own covenants, and that, therefore, you're going to get a lot of lawsuits from all these homeowners. So now, you know, this legal bubble is just getting bigger and bigger. So I said, we need to do something. Let's call these people to the table and let's negotiate. Let's find out how we can get out of this without wasting all our money on legal fees. On November 30th, they granted us a meeting. We went there with our attorney and we sat there for 4 hours. Okay, I took the whole day off. For 4 hours, we sat there, went back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And at the end of the day, the best deal that they gave us is to pay them $475,000, and they're out of the picture. They'll give us the cable contract, and we control our destiny with the cable and internet from there on, right? That was their offer. Plus, this included getting rid of the lawsuit altogether. It would close the lawsuit without paying them any legal fees, right? And it wasn't even obligatory. If we decide we don't want to pay that money, we just keep paying the contract until we're done. So that's what people are not understanding. We're not forcing the homeowners in this community to do anything. We have given you options. And it's gonna be up to the homeowners that vote at this election, not at the big election, but we're gonna have a voting just for this issue. Because 50% of the owners in this community have to agree to this. If they don't agree, this is not gonna happen, okay? And I'm working on this table that I'm gonna start sharing with you guys in the next couple of weeks, where it tells you the numbers. The numbers don't lie. It tells you the numbers if we stay in the contract. It tells you the numbers if we get out of the contract, okay? It tells you how much money we're gonna save over the next 5 years that are left in the contract, okay? And it's a big number. It's over $1 million, I would say, okay? For investing these $475,000, we're gonna save more than $1 million. So to me, that is value. So I support it. I'm voting yes, but you guys have to educate yourself, find the information, the factual information that you really, really need, and make that decision on your own. I know that not everybody has $971 laying around, okay? But this is why we asked for a whole year to do it. Because I think that if everybody saves 20, 30, 40 here and there, you can come up with $971 by the end of the year, and this will be doable. Maybe not everybody can do it, but like I said, if you have special circumstances, reach out to management, ask. We may be able to extend for people that are having hardship. We may be able to do something to help them, but if it goes through, everyone has to pay it. If 50% of the homeowners vote yes, everyone has to pay it, even if you vote no. So that is what this is about. It's about giving us an opportunity to buy the contract out. It's not mandatory. If you guys decide this is not for us, then just understand that we're gonna pay more for cable every year, which in turn is gonna lead to paying more assessments every year to cover this cable bill, okay? Let me finish talking. So that's what this is about, okay? And it's not obligatory. That's the main thing, because that's what I keep hearing in social media, that now they're making us pay. We're not making anybody do anything. The board did their due diligence. Our due diligence is, and our responsibility to the community is to come up with a deal, and we voted for the 387.91 that we have the authority to authorize. That's why we did that. Our documents say that we can authorize up to 20% of the previous year's budget, and that's how we got that number. It's not like we just thought about it and said, that's how much we want to collect. That is the limit that we can ask for from the homeowners through a vote from the board members. So now the rest of it has to come from the homeowners. Make sense? Yes, sir.
I just wonder why the home association don't take care, because they know, you guys know that homeowner don't know anything about it. Why you ask to the homeowner to take care of that?
Because you are the homeowners association. The homeowners association is all of us that own property. So when we pay the money in, this money has to come from us. It comes from us.
Yeah, we are the ones who pay for everything the HOA pays for. There's no money that the HOA makes.
The board doesn't make money.
Yeah, but the board can take care of that, use the home association fund.
Yeah, if the HOA had $500,000 sitting somewhere to pay it off, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
Yeah, we cannot, because the homeowner don't know anything. You tell the homeowner.
Sir, we've had 2 town halls about this. We had a special meeting. There's at least 5 meetings about this issue before this special assessment came about. Okay, this notice that you got last week was supposed to go out 3 months ago. And we've been trying to work the kinks out of the logistics, and it's taking long. Because I wanted this to go out in February, so you had all year to save that money. Now we're short a couple of months, but it's still doable. You understand?
Yeah, but we elected you guys will review and take care about that one.
Yeah, but there's laws, and then there's our rules of the community that we have to abide by. And we do not have the authority to approve this amount of money. This has to come from the homeowners.
So just to be clear, our attorneys, obviously, like you mentioned, work, when I say our, I mean the HOA.
Yeah.
Work diligently in addressing this as this body and this current HOA and our municipal members involved had nothing to do with putting this against the cable company, right?
No,
So we inherited something that was done illegally, right?
Correct, but by the previous board.
Exactly. So
Correct.
from a legal standpoint, why would we still be obligated to pay whatever these fees or penalties are if number one, it was done legally because they didn't get signatures, and number two, that was a completely different regime. Why wouldn't they still be held from a legal standpoint?
That's a very good question. So board members are not held accountable for their actions when they act within the rules. You know, so I understand that's kind of a very tricky legal question, and I think you should ask it to our attorney, to be honest with you, because it is a tricky question.
But unfortunately, on the other side of that, we also inherit the sins of our fathers.
I get that. I just wanted to make sure, I'm assuming the due diligence and the process was done, or you guys, I'm assuming keep everybody here owns.
Yes,
we're all
we're
owners.
all
All
owners.
right, so I'm assuming we're all on the same team.
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely.
Correct. But I would love to see what, what was done, or if that's even possible.
Yeah, you can ask for records. There's records on all that stuff, so.
Basically, how did it get passed? Through
Yeah.
board and us and everybody, like.
We can sit
everybody
here,
lies.
listen, we can sit here and talk all night about what the previous board did, and we wouldn't get done. The bottom line is that these type of meetings were not being held for over a year and a half. And things were being done behind closed doors, hence why all the homeowners revolted and voted them out with a recall. This is why we are here today.
But now there's a big mess that has to be cleaned up.
It has
I
to be
think
cleaned
I've
up.
said it 1,000 times, this boat moves slow.
All right, she wanted,
My question is that if you were to vote yes, and this was, we would pay the contract out, do we have a plan for what would happen after that? Or we just contract, we're gonna,
well, automatically our cable internet bill gets slashed by a big amount.
does it go directly through Spectrum?
We would work
Yeah,
directly with.
talk about that, Mario.
We would own the contract. Yeah.
Cut out the middleman,
So
basically.
It will go from
It's
like
a reduced cost.
Yes, yes.
yeah, from like 600,000 to like 380,000.
50%, yeah.
Please.
Everything that you said as far as the reason why this special assessment came about, okay, I'm all for it. The problem I found was I received this bill, that's how I see it. I received the bill and I'm being told, hey, you have to pay this. The other thing is, I had called the
Management.
HOA management, and I was told that was for internet and cable, and I've got a question. Because way before you even put in this HOA line or this internet cable, I already had Bright House. So I didn't fall into this. So what would happen in case?
Ma'am, in this community, none of us have ever had a contract with the cable company. You deal with the cable company, but your money is going to another company, not to them.
But the thing is, I never went through
Correct.
the HOA.
No. I see what you're saying. So you're saying for your services, you call the cable company, they deal with you. Yes, you're right. That's true. That's not gonna change. But the money is what the problem is.
That's me as far as this. Special
Yeah.
assessment that I'm paying for, something that I didn't elect to have.
No, you're misunderstanding.
You're
it.
still paying.
Bright House, Spectrum, it's always been via sole broadband.
You just don't know.
So, all right, all this was discussed at the previous meeting, but basically, the developer to this community created a cable company called via sole broadband a long time ago, okay? Actually, it was called Dixie Cable, okay? And they had their own cable equipment, right here where on the entrance to Sangria, they had their own cable equipment, and they were providing cable to everybody here. This was, I want to say 2003, 2004. You didn't have a choice. They own all the lines here.
They put it in, but I never used it.
But
You don't think
you don't have a
used it, but
choice.
you did.
Because I had this.
Wait, how long you been here?
I've been here since 2004.
2004?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, had it, but okay.
You may not have used it.
Nobody can have here any other service.
Excuse me, I remember having a meeting where this one homeowner was complaining, oh, every time I get in, I'm trying to do my schoolwork, I'm going to college, and it drops out. I didn't have that problem, because I didn't.
Were you here before the development was done? Oh, that's probably why.
But
That's probably why. I know there was like 2, 3 houses here before they started the community, but.
yeah, but like
Anyway.
here, like the developer what's holding the board, so he can choose whatever he wants for the community. We don't have anything to say, so that's why he imposed it, so we have to deal with it.
But he imposed it in the beginning, he imposed it, but we don't pay him.
Always on the assessment.
He was started.
On the assessment, correct, on the assessment.
I was, although he was part of the assessment, I was never involved in it.
Correct,
Because
but-
I wasn't made aware that we had paid. So I didn't have the issues that all the other homeowners had, because I had issues.
Okay, you had a question?
And finally, I landed with Bright House.
Well, she needs,
Anyway, for the majority of the people here, we all obligated to pay this cable internet bill. Yes, sir. I'm sorry, give me 1 second, sir. Yeah, give me 1 second, he's talking right now. He's talking right now, right here. Give me 1 second. Yeah. Go ahead, sir.
Is that assessment that's due December 31st, not enough for the contract buyout? It's ultimately going to be 900 something apiece?
There's 971 total we need, $475,000.
Is that in that letter?
No, because we cannot talk about the rest of the assessment because it's not approved.
You guys need to.
Once we have the vote, if it passes, we'll talk about
Well, let me add,
That's
because I'm fairly new to the community, so when I joined I had the same questions, right? So the board is only allowed to approve a certain amount. So the amount in the paper that you got, that's what was approved by the board. Now, it's up to you to approve the rest of the amount, and that's what the vote coming up is going to be for. But to what Mario said, if people vote no, you will get that money back. What I think we're trying to say is we want to buy out this contract to save for the future.
Yeah.
Right. So you can buy it out now, or we can choose not to.
it. It's
and we
something
live
that
out
makes
the life of the
financial
contract.
sense, but it's gonna require we put out money.
What we're voting for is to increase from $387 to $980, or get our $387 back and stick with the contract we got.
Correct, exactly.
Okay, very much.
Because we need 971 and we cannot approve more than the 387.
That's just the down payment.
One of the
Correct.
things that.
correct.
One of the things Mario didn't say though is it's all likelihood that if we vote no for this, the HOA fees are gonna have to go up to pay for this in the future.
Yes.
And listen, either way, no matter how this falls, at the end of the day, it's a win for us because the litigation's done. We didn't cough up 50 grand for nothing.
Yeah.
So we already won 50 grand, okay? It's all up to us now whether we want to save more money or not, or we want to keep paying this lady and making her rich. Okay? Yes, sir.
The gentleman up there.
Yeah.
Yes, I have a little concern, so I have to probably, you guys are not, this is like available, okay, some suggestion.
Excuse me.
If I hadn't seen, also this issue about the cable company and the previous board of directors, if they were the one who authorized on their own to sue the company, am I correct on that? My interpretation, is that true?
That's correct, yeah.
Okay, is that the case? If you look at, at the rule, and you look at the bylaws, that say, the board or director are also directly responsible for any inaction or bad action that they have done towards the association. Am I correct or not? You're correct.
I would suggest to.
Because I know I am correct. I have done this many years.
I would suggest.
But remember to that, I'm glad you said something about that. The current bylaws that are in effect were approved in 2020 by the previous board.
It doesn't matter.
So the old bylaws don't apply anymore.
Yeah, but when the rules of the division state that they are completely responsible, the board of directors is not there just to have a name and a title. There is some responsibilities.
I agree.
Based on you. And
I
what the
agree.
responsibility is, if you do something wrong, you're responsible for.
Correct.
Before the unit owners.
Yeah.
Before.
You're right.
So that's one thing that you should look into, just in case. Second option. I have done, I have dealt with something similar to this before. And getting away from the current cable contract, cable companies, they have a lot of money for attorneys, they don't care how much money they can spend. However, I was very successful living in a different place that I was living before, to deal with that. And the way I did, in 2 ways. Okay, I don't give it to you because I don't have the time maybe to put into, because that's why I'm not interested to deal with it. So it is, you look into another contract, a cable contract. No, it doesn't have to be spent, it doesn't have to go AT&T, go anything, okay? Talk to, you talk to the CEO there, top management person in the region, and then this is what we have. We have so many units.
Yes.
And this is what it is, okay? Well, if I think you do, what is it there for? Okay?
We did that.
Yeah. Okay, let me say that and then we can comment, okay? What you did, what you happens. And when that happens, that wouldn't give you anything and everything. Trust me. Even though the money to take that problem that we are trying, they will be responsible to. They did it to me.
I understand, sir.
So I just a suggestion.
All right,
And the last question I have before I leave is that there are received about the 300 okay, and you say that's not official yet. But
No, I said the 387 is official, the rest of the amount is not official.
Okay,
Yes, sir, that was voted on in January.
because your place say you pay them by that place, but not with the plus interest.
What is
If
it?
it is official, how can you pay interest?
Excuse me?
75, what is that for?
38793.
91.
91.
91.
91.
Okay, and the board, the management for the HOA, are they here or they're somewhere else?
The manager right there.
Where are you, is anybody in the office?
No, they don't have an
We
office
don't have an
here.
office
Where
here.
are you located by?
Kissimmee.
192.
192.
See me before, when you turn the fortune to the right?
Yes,
Yes,
Is that where the town management was before?
yes.
yes.
I was there all the time. I didn't have a very good, I'm sorry, I don't know.
Yes.
I understand.
I didn't have a good experience over there, and I think I remember you faced it.
No,
No?
I've only been there 3 months.
Anyway, we have to move on, sir. I hate to be rude, but I appreciate your comments. Thank you.
Just.
All right. Anna Worksman? Hello? You must be muted, Anna.
Hello.
Yes, are you Anna?
No, I'm Jack Mario. So as a business owner, I understand what you're saying about getting out from under the rock with the cable, and I personally agree with it. But does that also mean that if we pay off this bill, that our HOA fee of $328 will drop? Because every month, since we're not going to owe as much money, that you'll be able to reduce our fees every month?
Good question. I don't know, because that would have to be looked at, what the budget would be at the time that happens. And one thing I could probably speculate, and this is me personally, and has nothing to do with the rest of the board, is that I assure you that probably there will be no further increases in assessment for us for a little while, because we'll have a lot of cushion. But that has to be a vote for the board. If it was up to me, I would lower the assessments for everybody, but it has to be a board decision. Okay? Thank you, sir.
That's a fair response.
Thank you, sir. All right, guys, so that's what I have to say about the assessment. And I hope you guys understand, we're here to work for you guys. We're not here to, hoodwink you and try to take your money for reasons that are unfair. We're homeowners. We want the best value too. I want to see the community to be the resort community that was sold to me at one point. That we're far from that right now. Over the years, this community has deteriorated to a point that it needs to be brought back up. And unfortunately, everything is much more expensive right now. Okay, when I moved here, houses here were rented for $1,200, $1,300 a month. Right now, they're close to $3,000. Okay, and we're still paying the same HOA fees that we used to have in 2005. And we have to kind of understand that we get a lot of services for our money, and that's why things have to go up. If we get rid of the cable right now, if we say, you know what, we're not going to give cable to anybody, get your own cable, every one of us would be paying $200, $150 a month for cable and internet. And I think this is a good deal for us to continue to benefit from that as a community. And, you know, like I was trying to tell you, the first thing we did before we indulged in this settlement, we went and we looked at fiber, we looked at different companies, but the infrastructure here is owned by that lady, and it would take a lot of money for us to put the infrastructure here for another company to come in, which will put us in the same boat. And that's why we've decided to entertain this. I've talked to a lot of homeowners here. They love the service they get here when it comes to cable and internet. They want to keep it. They don't want us to pick any other company in here. So all these things have been taken into consideration to get us where we are today.
Well, and just to add what Mario was saying, we need you guys to really help explain that to other people. Not everyone in the community is here, so they're probably saying the same thing you guys have. So, you know, anyone that is asking questions, please help us try to explain that.
By show of hands, I have a question. By show of hands, how many people here know that we have a YouTube channel? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, see that? We have a YouTube channel. Every one of these meetings is on the YouTube channel. If you don't have time to come here, you can watch it on the weekend, you can watch it in the middle of the night, wherever you have time, and you can understand what we're trying to do. And then that will help our relationship that you have with us. We're not adversaries, we're homeowners, we want the best thing for you. Yes? Yeah. So, you know, we want to have that transparency. Okay.
With the hearing impaired, I would suggest, because these are all tiled floors in here, it is hard to hear on audio. If you could put some rugs in here to help, you know, otherwise.
Yeah, we're looking into it, maybe a different microphone that is closer to us as well.
All right.
Just do it. One, voting date. I guess that's the most important thing, you know, when you guys, or when we're gonna vote on it. And second, if it's possible to send out letters, because obviously I got mine, I had no idea what special assessment. I know that I need to call, but there's others that may see, oh, Bill, I don't know what it is, throw it out. Is there any way that we can have it as a community letter or
There was
something
a
else
letter,
explaining?
there was a letter mailed, because by law, by Florida statute, not even our rules, Florida statute, when a special assessment is going to be levied, there has to be a notice to every homeowner. That was mailed, do we know more or less when?
January.
It was January.
What the special assessment was?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
And it said the amount, it said when it would be due, it said everything on there.
Well,
It
another
was
one
mailed
sent
out.
out before voting, or?
Yeah, that happened before voting.
But we're gonna be looking at, you know,
or when
putting
is
it on
voting?
the,
Is no one-
well, that's what we
We don't know
were
yet.
talking
We were
about.
just talking about that as soon as possible.
What was the special assessment? What did it say? That was mailed out?
What the special assessment was for, how much it was, when it would be due, everything that the law requires to be on there.
I didn't know.
So I guess something that specifically says it was for cable internet.
I'm sure you guys did a bulletin and put it on your website too, right?
It's on the website. They did a couple of email blasts about it as well. So, I mean, we have a lot of options here. People have been talking about it on social
Bill
media,
sold and
negatively and positively. So, I mean,
But yeah, for your question, for the new vote, it's gonna be explanations. We're gonna start sending a lot of email blasts about everything that he discussed.
And it's gonna be an electronic vote.
Yeah, so.
Option.
yeah, you're gonna have the option. So you're gonna have the option to vote electronically, or if you don't want to vote electronically, you'll have the option to do a ballot. So all that is, we're gonna cover all bases with that.
So, Mario, can I sum this up and send this out to the next topic?
Say that?
Can I sum this up and send this out to the next topic?
Sure.
More to come under vote. It's gonna be electronic, which will be easy for you guys, as homeowners. You don't have to be present, click a button, all that information is yet to come. The date yet to come, right? We have certain requirements by law to send you things. However, every letter we send you costs the association money to send you. So we try to keep it very minimal in terms of what we have to physically mail you, postage, letters, paper stamps, right? That's all consumable has to be done. So we send you what we have to by law and the minimal, right, to try to conserve money. Where you're going to find all your details is that YouTube channel, right? The Facebook page, all those kind of things are out there. That's where you're going to get your details. Coming to meetings, talking to us. Any of us are available. See us in the community. Feel free to stop us. That's where you get your information, right? Those little things, right? It's costing us money. We're trying to be as conscious as we can. So bear with us. I know that they haven't been presented in a way that wasn't as detailed as we'd love to be. I'd love to give you a 10-page letter explaining all. It's going to cost us, right?
But I appreciate that you did explain us that
And-
we don't have a lot of avenues.
Please,
not just
And
otherwise.
just for the
Please
record,
understand, if you approach us on the street, we're just homeowners.
just for the record, Facebook, WhatsApp, Nextdoor are unofficial channels. The HOA has nothing to do with that. We have no control what people say on there. So please do not use those channels to get valid information about anything we're doing. Our website, our management company, or our meetings. That's the way to go.
Yeah, their Villasol website and Front Steps are where we communicate. Those are our official channels, just so we're clear.
I'm the handyman.
Huh?
I'm the handyman.
Oh,
Hangman?
so we already covered the reserve study, right? So we can move on? All right, so handyman home repairs. So we received a spreadsheet, so the townhomes get repairs to their exteriors, and I guess we have a handyman that's going around making all these,
Yes,
tying up all these
obtained the
loose
second
ends.
one.
Yeah.
Correct.
When we first took office, I used to walk around by the townhomes just to look at things, and it was just, almost everything was like falling apart, and I think that it's important for safety reasons and for aesthetics to make sure we upkeep the outside. Something for townhome owners to keep in mind, I know you own your house, but the HOA is responsible for your exterior. If you're drilling into your house and putting up decorations, if you're, hammering nails in there, that's a bad thing. You should not be doing that. Anything, you are still subject to the ARC rules. And anything you want to do to the exterior of your house, you're supposed to put in a request through the ARC to do so. I've walked around and I know there's a number of houses that have put a lot of stuff up, and they've drilled and nailed into the stucco, and that's just not a good thing to do. So please get your ARC approval, because management is gearing up to start looking at all these little things as well, and they're going to become violations at some point. I don't know when, but at some point. All right, any new business we have?
We've got wild pigs on Vietnam and Shallow Lane that showed up 2 nights ago. They were back out again last night in that roundabout area.
Okay.
Yeah,
I talked to the county, they do not.
Yeah, the CDD, you can report it to the CDD, they can address it.
I talked to the county, they don't handle it. I asked.
CDD.
Yeah, I know, I talked to anybody at the county and they said.
No, not the county, CDD, Community Developmental District. Yeah, that's who handles that.
And that's what we see, so I'll let you guys take care of that.
FWC won't come in here, because FWC won't come in here.
No, they won't.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
If they move, all new ones will just move in.
Yeah, let's go to repairs.
Oh,
We already did that, right? Right, with the construction defect?
It's all reported.
So we don't have any updates on any of the stucco repairs at this point? We don't
Oh,
have
no,
any dates?
it's more to come.
So,
The one homeowner that,
yeah.
yes,
So
I
a
mean, there's
quick-
three.
a quick synopsis.
There's three.
We have a stucco contractor that's gonna evaluate all the stucco issues that are going on. So if you've reported a stucco issue, someone's gonna come take a look at it. And whatever repairs need to be made to keep you dry will be made as soon as we can get it done, okay? So just rest assured that that will happen. I think that's all we have, so it's time for open forum. I think we already had it.
I think we've cleared that officially.
Anybody have anything else before I close the meeting?
No, I just one thing, I'm sorry, I'm leaving after this. Not to go back, but just to touch on the reserve study for the HOA on roads. For
Sangria
and Menorca. I understand the reasoning behind it. My question is, that seems like a long-term type issue, right? Where the goal is going to be, and correct me if I'm wrong, is to start collecting fees to put a reserve away to do that. My concern is, I may not be here in 10 years or 15, 20 years when that road has to be remilled, right? I'm just being. I'm being transparent, so I don't see why it should be the responsibility of us. Now, I agree for the fees or whatever the feasibility study is, but I do rebuild work all the time on our communities. I seal code and restripe, I understand when these things have to be done, what those costs associated are. My question is, instead of doing the approach that you're taking, is why don't you just say, hey, if it's gonna cost $40,000 in 7 years to restrike that, come that 7th year, just let the homeowners know, hey, we're gonna divvy up this cost on your street, and whoever's living here at that time has to pay for it. Because if not, now, I'm gonna be required to potentially be putting money aside for something I'm never gonna benefit from.
Unfortunately, you're using it.
But you could potentially be here.
But you're using it.
But when that's not coming, I'll be more than.
It's like insurance.
But you're putting wear and tear in the street while you're here.
Yeah.
You're putting wear and tear in the street while you're here.
It's a
Okay,
share.
so my second part of that is, when we see what your estimates come in at, can I then say, I can get that feasibility study by civil engineer done for free? I can get you your steel coat and striping done.
Talk to management, make it happen.
I'm spending millions of dollars all day with what I do on those things. So I have great relationships with companies that do that. So instead of charging us X amount of money from whomever it is that you guys are using, I have companies that are licensed in this state.
The way that usually works is you can submit your contractor and he'll be reviewed.
But that's to do the work.
Yeah.
Oh, you say you do the work, right, at the time.
For the feasibility study, I'm sure you have to have a civil engineer, whomever it is.
Well, actually, reserve study people are very specific.
Yeah, their spreadsheets would probably make a civil engineer head hurt.
Yeah.
Because it's like a spreadsheet that is like.
It's actuary stuff that's spread over 30 years.
You can look online, the townhomes have a reserve study that's in our records, you can look at it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If the HOA sets it up as a special assessment, which you could do that, right?
No, that's why they're trying to do at this time to look ahead, to be able.
A long-term projection.
Right,
Of taking
correct.
care of properties. Then, like, if what his point is valid. May not be here in another 5 years. My job may transfer me or whatever. And he will have doled all this money, right?
But as a counter,
So, on the closing, when it transfers to the new buyer, they prorate that to the new buyer, and it's part of the legal contract.
Right.
Yeah, but as a counterpoint to that, usually for me, like, I look at it like this. This is like insurance. I could not have insurance on my roof for the next 5 years, even though I know in 5 it's gonna be out. And I can pay full cost for a roof, or I can have insurance on it and, potentially not have to pay full cost. Like, it's money that we're all paying out, like, just to make sure that something doesn't happen down the road. And I get where you're coming from, because in 5 years, I may not be in my house.
Right.
But I'm still gonna pay insurance on my house.
And the other reality is that the HOA doesn't know what everybody's financial status is gonna be at the time that a repair needs to be made. So this is why reserve studies exist, so that everybody contributes a small little bite as time goes on. So when the time comes that it needs to be repaired or replaced, the money's there. No one has to have a special assessment. I mean, to the gentleman's point, these roads are very expensive to redo.
Yes.
And,
As you know.
and let's say I'm giving, this is by nowhere quantified. Let's say I'm gonna give a rough, like, very low estimate. Let's say it's 100 grand and there's 50 houses. You know how much money each one will have to do with a special assessment in one shot to make that happen? It's not fair.
The city can come back and say, you have to do this, and this to be a new code, so it could even cost more money. I get that, and I know the cost associated with it, that's why I'm getting a little nervous.
Because you know it's way higher than that, right?
Yeah, no, I know, I understand this.
The resurfacing is insane.
We got somebody online?
Yeah.
And it
more like
goes
half
up
the
the more you build. The 1 inch build versus a 2 versus you're.
Marcelo, you're on, Marcelo.
Yes, thank you guys. So to that point, I just want to add this. One of the main reasons, if not the only one, that repairs on those roads will be needed is related to how much we use them, right? So the fact that someone might not be here in 5 or 10 years, that doesn't mean that that person didn't use those roads during the years that they live there, and therefore contributed to whatever repairs are needed in the future. So it's fair that they pay the share for what they used that will cost the repairs needed in the future. So on top of all you guys said, I think this is another reason why we need to do this.
I get it. I'm just trying to get out of it, Mauricio. Thank you. Thank you for your honesty.
And in all fairness.
You're welcome.
None of us knew that those roads were privatized. None of us until we took office.
It's what it is.
We assumed that the community was all one, and that's it. We didn't know that was a separate issue.
Anyone else?
Alrighty, guys. Thank you again for joining us.
Motion to adjourn.
I really appreciate that you guys are participating, but
If any-
please,
Motion
we
to
have to maintain a little
I
bit
got
more
you.
order.
You're good,
We
you're good.
can't be talking over each other, so we can all understand each
If
other.
anybody didn't
Have a
sign
good
it,
night.
if you could, on the, if you don't mind.
My name in this.
June 5th at 5 p.m. CBD, June 5th at 7. June 6th, Thursday. Here.
You'll put it in WhatsApp. You will put it in WhatsApp.
Yeah.